Being a small business owner isn't just a career, it's a calling. Chase for Business knows how much heart and effort go into building something of your own. Manage all your business finances, from banking to payments to credit cards, all in one place with their digital tools. Plus, access online resources designed to help your business thrive. Learn more at chase.com/business. Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours. The Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Copyright 2025 JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Did my card go through?
Oh no.
Your small business depends on its internet, so switch to Verizon Business. And you can get LTE business internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data for unlimited business.
There we go.
Get the internet you need at the price you want. Verizon Business. Starting price for LTE business internet, 25 megabits per second, unlimited data plan with select Verizon Business smartphone plan savings. Terms apply.
Hiscox Small Business Insurance knows there is no business like your business. Across America, over 600,000 small businesses, from accountants and architects to photographers and yoga instructors, look to Hiscox Insurance for protection. Find flexible coverage that adapts to the needs of your small business with a fast, easy online quote at hiscox.com. That's HISCOX.com. There's no business like small business. Hiscox Small Business Insurance.
Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
European technology regulations remain at the centre of the trade talks between the EU and US as they move to implement their deal reached over the summer. Tomorrow, the European Commission is due to set out changes to its rules on data protection and artificial intelligence. They're meant to ease the regulatory burden and boost competitiveness. Well, joining me now in the Brussels radio studio to discuss is Glenn Fogel, CEO of Booking Holdings, which is the company that owns Booking.com, Priceline, OpenTable and more. Glenn, good morning. Great to see you in Brussels. It's interesting to talk to you because you are one of those companies that is designated as a big platform by the EU for its regulatory purposes. We often think of perhaps the Googles or the Microsofts of this world, but you are a company that many people will have had interactions with while booking travel or restaurants as it may have been involved. The European Commission says it wants to simplify its digital rules. Is this something that you're excited about? Is it going to help you to grow your company?
Well, thanks for having me, Stephen. It is an interesting time indeed. And you're right, we are an incredible user of technology. And we also are, of course, regulated by all the new AI rules that are coming into place. And that can be very complex, particularly because we are a very global company. Booking.com is one of the largest travel companies in the world. And as such, we have to deal with business around the world. And different regulatory environments create different problems. And one of our problems right now is with EU rules and that are more stringent and more complicated and require a tremendous amount of money investment for us versus some of our competitors around the world that are not subjected to the same rules. They get a competitive advantage. And that's very disadvantageous to us here in Europe trying to build a very competitive business.
So from your point of view, is it a question that not enough companies are being covered by these regulations, or is it the rules are too onerous?
Well, I think there's a lot of things going on right now. First of all, the rules are complex, not well understood. There's contradictions. There's issues of nobody's sure exactly what does it mean in terms of our own businesses. So that right away can be problematic. But certainly the issue of having our competitors who are about the same size not subjected to the same rules, that can be very disadvantageous. So, for example, I have engineers here in Amsterdam who are doing tremendous, great work. But if they can't get the cutting edge technology, that's the stuff that's right out front, because the people who create this, the giant hyperscalers, don't want to bring it to Europe right now because they're concerned about the rules in Europe. So they're not giving it over to our engineers to be able to do things and play with it and learn. Well, that puts us at a big disadvantage to a giant player in the U.S., like Expedia is one of our big competitors, or Airbnb is one of our big competitors, or the Chinese company, Trip.com, they're a big competitor. They all can get that stuff. Our engineers may not be able to get it. And because there's no rule per se, but the issue is the people who create these new technologies are concerned about being in sort of liability issue.
Which companies are afraid then to be selling those products into Europe?
Well, I think every single AI creator always has to be thinking in the back of their head, should I bring this to Europe right now or not? Is this allowed or not? Look, we all saw that. When OpenAI first brought out ChatGPT, you must remember when Italy said, oh, we don't want that right now. Do you remember that? Well, that continues on and on and on, where the concern is as these new technologies are developed, the people creating it look at the EU and they look at the European regulation and they are concerned.
Well, the interesting thing is that we spoke to YouGov recently about a survey they did across 9 European countries. Overwhelmingly, the people they spoke to supported regulation of AI, even if that came at a cost of innovation. I wonder, in the conversations that you're having with European regulators, how are you putting your points forward to them, and do you feel you're being listened to?
So this is a very complex problem here. We all agree we want to have safe technology. Nobody disagrees with that. And then you come up on the other hand, we don't want to end up far behind other countries, and we don't want to end up not having great innovation that helps society too. So it's a balancing issue. The problem is the world is not one set of rules. So how do we work here in Europe? How together do we create up with rules that will be able to match up with rules in other parts of the world? And that is something that, unfortunately, we as a global company have to deal with, but we cannot change. Governments have to make these rules, but we can give advice, and we can work with our legislature, our different members of parliament, in ways to try and help them understand the difficulties that we are facing.
Can you give us a concrete example of a difficulty you're facing that you're bringing up in your conversations while you're here in Brussels?
Well, the one I just brought up right now, the fact that in terms of new technologies in AI, agentic AI that's coming in, will we be allowed to use certain types of personalization or not? Versus our competitors may be able to do that. We can do very technical things, but
what's the opportunity cost, I suppose? If you can't do that, what does that mean for your business?
Well, it ends up we're in one of the most competitive industries in the world. Travel is by far an area where people know that they get lots of different opportunities to do their travel. And if they come to us and they do not see the same benefits, the same ease of use, the same personalization that is shown by one of our competitors, we may not get that sale. And that's in the long run, what you end up with is that we'll end up with companies in the European area cannot compete. Instead of hiring more people, we end up having to let people go instead. And that'd be very detrimental for the economies overall.
I mentioned Donald Trump's criticism of European tech regulation. We know it's a subject of discussion in the ongoing talks between the EU and the US. Does Donald Trump making criticisms like that help your case? Do you agree with him on some of the changes that need to be made?
Well, I won't comment on what the U.S. president has said or not, so I'll see in more generalities. The fact is, I understand completely the need for regulations, but I also understand they need to be smart regulations. They need to be done in a way that enables companies to continue to develop new technologies that will make better things for society. And that's what we're doing. Travel is a wonderful thing. People love travel. We want to continue to create a way that it's easier. Our business, the use of technology is huge. We have an incredible number of people working on it all the time. But if the rules are such that we cannot compete, that will be detrimental to the entire European community.
Given this process that's underway, simplification, adapting these digital rules, are you confident that the rules will change?
I'm hopeful. How about that?
Okay, and what are you basing that hope on?
Some people say that your strategy should not be just hope, and that's true. So what we're doing is we're talking with everyone we can in government to make sure they understand the complications. Look, one of the most powerful laws really is the law of the unintended consequences. And when new rules are put into place, really working with people so they understand what the consequences of these rules or laws will be going forward. And I think sometimes there isn't enough thought into that. And I'll give examples right now. We are incredibly disadvantaged by the DMA and the DSA. Now, we are fully in favor of supporting them. We follow all the rules. We're doing everything we can. It's costing us huge amounts, millions and millions and millions of euros that we could be spending on hiring people, technology, building new things. Instead, we're spending it on the regulatory framework. The problem is our competitors who are not subjected by these same rules, even though we are competing for the same customers, they are not. and that is problematic.
Would you be hiring those people in Europe, though? Because the talent for AI in a lot of cases is in the US as well.
So Booking.com was born in Amsterdam, a small thing. We have over 7,000 employees. We are continuing to hire. Look, I would like to hire even more, but to hire more requires the capital to do it and the resources that you want to put in. Instead of putting it into regulations, we would put it into technology, hiring more people. That'd be great. But I recognize the need to have good regulatory frameworks.
I want to ask you a little bit about the technology behind the travel as well, though. We're seeing, of course, you're using AI in the company more and more as well. Are you trusting AI to make your travel plans now already?
There's that old saying of trust but verify. I think that's something everybody should absolutely do. Look, I use a lot of the large language models for myself, my own travel, and we have great things at Booking.com. We have an AI trip planner, which is a great way to use technology to find an easier way to come up with a holiday. I also do check, though. I do check to make sure everything's exactly right and using other sources. I think people should continue to do that until such time that we really feel everything is at a level that you don't need to do that. I think that's some way down the future.
Are you still sharing travel recommendations with people rather than necessarily directing them to the technology?
Well, we'll continue to give great recommendations. One of the things about AI that really is remarkable is how it comes up with things you may not have thought of before. And look, we go back to the issue of personalization. I would love for our AI trip planner at Booking.com to know every single thing about me, remember everything about me, use everything about me within all parts of our business. It's not just the booking for the hotel, but the flights, the car rental, everything that we're bringing together. Well, there's a problem actually in some of the regulations that makes that more difficult for us because we have different brands that do the car rental, let's say, and that's problematic.
I'm sure the European regulators argue that it's about consent as well from people who want to share that sort of information.
Consent is great. I'm in favor of consent. Nothing wrong with that.
Glenn, we'll have to leave it there. CEO of Booking Holdings, Glenn Fogel, thank you very much for joining us in Brussels.
Hiscox Small Business Insurance knows there is no business like your business. Across America, over 600,000 small businesses, from accountants and architects to photographers and yoga instructors, look to Hiscox Insurance for protection. Find flexible coverage that adapts to the needs of your small business with a fast, easy online quote at hiscox.com. That's HISCOX.com. There's no business like small business. Hiscox Small Business Insurance.
In business, a gift says more than thank you. It's a message that reflects your brand, your attention to detail, your values, and your relationships. That's why marketers and brand leaders trust 4imprint. 4imprint offers thousands of high-quality, customizable products like branded drinkware, premium apparel, smart tech, and more, all backed by expert support. And with their 360-degree guarantee, you can be 4imprint certain your gifts arrive on time exactly as expected and on brand. Explore gifting with confidence at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain. As a contractor, I don't pay for materials I don't use. So why would I pay for stuff I don't need in my mobile plan? That's why my Biz plan from Verizon Business is so perfect. Now I can choose exactly what I want, and I only pay for what I need.
Right now, with my Biz plan, get our best price, as low as $25 a line. Visit Verizon.com/business to get started today. New lines only. Price per month with 5+ lines. Includes autopay and paper-free billing and promotional discount. Taxes, fees, economic adjustment charge, applicable add-ons, prices, and terms apply. Guarantee applies to base monthly rate and stated discounts only. Add-on prices additional. Offers in January 5th, 2026.